Grief is a groundbreaking yet profoundly transformative experience, especially after 50. As we age, losses become part of our journey, and it's at this point that Ram Dass's teachings shine as insights of understanding and wisdom. Today, I'll share 5 powerful methods for overcoming grief, not just as ways to ease the pain, but as practical pathways that can bring healing, peace, and meaning to your life. I want you to participate. Which of these methods resonated most with you? Leave your answer in the comments, because your voice might be just the message someone needs to hear today. Accepting the reality of loss is one of the most universal human experiences. Sooner or later, we all face it: the loss of a loved one, a relationship, our health, or even a vision of the life we thought we would have. And yet, when it arrives, loss often feels deeply personal, almost unbearable, as if the world has broken in two. In those moments, many of us instinctively want to turn away. We want to deny what has happened or repress the tidal wave of feelings that rise within us. Some try to stay busy, filling every moment with distractions. Others put on a mask of strength, pretending they are fine while inside they are unraveling. This reaction is natural. It is the mind's attempt to protect us from pain. But when we push grief away, it doesn't disappear. It only buries itself deeper, waiting to resurface in unexpected ways. In exhaustion, in anger, in anxiety, in the quiet heaviness that lingers in the heart. Accepting the reality of loss does not mean that we approve of it, nor does it mean we have to like it. It means allowing ourselves to face what is true here and now. It means giving ourselves permission to feel, without judgment, without rushing, without needing to be over it before we are ready. Ram Dass, the spiritual teacher who guided countless people through the mysteries of life and death, often spoke about the power of presence, even in pain. He reminded us that being present does not mean being free of suffering. It means being willing to sit with what is, to breathe into it, to let the heart expand enough to hold both love and sorrow together. He would say, "Be here now," not only in moments of joy, but in the depth of our grief, because even in sorrow, life is still happening. Even in loss, the spirit is still moving. When we resist grief, we not only resist pain, but we also resist healing. Imagine holding your breath underwater. Eventually, the body demands release. Grief is the same. It asks to be felt, to be honored, to be given space. And when we allow it, something remarkable happens. Slowly, the sharp edges of pain soften. Slowly, moments of peace appear, like sunlight breaking through clouds. Yet many of us fall into the trap of self-judgment. We tell ourselves we should be stronger, that we should move on faster, that crying or feeling lost makes us weak. This inner critic only deepens the wound. The truth is, there is no right way to grieve, no schedule, no standard of performance. Grief is not a problem to be solved. It is a process to be lived. Giving ourselves permission to feel is an act of courage. It means recognizing that our emotions are not enemies. They are signals of our humanity, proof of the love we carry. Every tear, every ache in the chest, every silent night missing someone we love. These are testaments to the depth of our connection. To grieve is to love in absence. When we stop judging ourselves for how grief unfolds, we create space for genuine healing. We begin to realize that sorrow and love are not opposites. They live side by side, shaping us, softening us, deepening our capacity for compassion. The journey of accepting loss is not linear. Some days we feel strong, others we feel shattered. Both are part of the path. And in time, the grief we thought would drown us begins to transform. It becomes a river we can navigate, carrying memories, carrying love, carrying the essence of those who are no longer with us in body, but remain with us in spirit. Ram Dass taught that the heart has an infinite capacity. Even when it feels broken, it is never truly destroyed. It can expand to hold both joy and sorrow, both the presence of love and the absence left by loss. And when we allow it, grief itself can become a doorway, not to forgetting, but to deeper connection with the mystery of life. So if you are walking through grief, remember, you do not have to do it perfectly. You do not have to meet anyone else's timeline. You only have to breathe, to feel, to take one step at a time. Trust that even in your pain you are not alone. Trust that every feeling has a place, that every moment of presence carries within it the seed of healing. Because accepting the reality of loss is not about surrendering to despair. It is about opening to the truth of love, the love that grief reveals, the love that never dies. And now I invite you to reflect. In your experience, has accepting pain been the hardest step, or has it in some way also been the most liberating? Silence has always held a mysterious power. It is more than the absence of sound. It is a presence in itself, a space that allows us to touch something deeper than words, deeper than thoughts. For many of us, especially after the age of 50, silence becomes not only comforting, but profoundly healing. When life has carried us through joys and losses, victories and regrets, we come to understand that the mind's constant noise is not where peace is found. Peace lives in the stillness beneath it all. When grief arrives, when the heart feels heavy with absence or longing, silence can feel overwhelming at first. It can feel like a mirror too honest, reflecting pain we wish to avoid. Yet, within that very quiet, there lies an opening, a gentle doorway toward healing. Ram Dass once said that we must learn to be present even in our pain, and silence, cultivated through meditation, is the ground on which that presence blossoms. You do not need to be an expert meditator or spend hours in a temple to discover this. The practice can be as simple as sitting in a comfortable chair, placing one hand on your chest, and noticing the rise and fall of your breath, just breathing in and breathing out, without trying to change anything. This alone is meditation. This alone is healing, because in that moment you step away from the endless stream of thoughts and judgments, and you return home to the body, to the heart, to the now. After 50, many of us realize how precious time is. We no longer wish to carry unnecessary burdens. We begin to value simplicity, presence, and authenticity. Meditation is not an escape from life, but a way of living more fully in it. By sitting quietly, focusing on the breath and welcoming the silence, we create space where emotions can rise and gently pass, instead of being suppressed or denied. Grief, anger, confusion, even joy, these feelings move through like clouds across the sky, and what remains, when we allow them to pass, is the vast openness of our soul. The silence of meditation is not empty, it is alive. It carries the whispers of wisdom that our busy minds often drown out. When we slow down, we may notice an inner voice, calm and steady, reminding us that we are more than our losses, more than our roles, more than our stories. This is the voice of the soul, and it speaks most clearly when we give it room in the stillness. Sometimes, just 5 minutes of silence can change the tone of an entire day. Imagine beginning each morning not with rushing, not with a list of tasks, but with a quiet pause. Sitting in stillness, closing the eyes, and letting the breath guide you inward. This simple ritual can become a sanctuary, a safe space you carry within wherever you go. Over time, the silence no longer feels empty. It begins to feel like a friend, a presence you can lean on in times of sorrow and a source of renewal in times of joy. It is true that the mind will resist. You may sit in silence and immediately hear 1,000 thoughts shouting for attention, memories, regrets, worries, plans. That is natural. Meditation does not require you to stop thinking. It simply invites you not to follow every thought. The breath becomes an anchor. Inhale, exhale. The mind may wander, and each time you notice, you simply return to the breath. No judgment, no pressure, just returning. Over and over, like waves returning to the shore. And slowly, something shifts. You begin to notice small spaces between thoughts, moments of peace that were always there, waiting. With practice, those spaces widen. The heart softens, the nervous system relaxes, the weight you have been carrying begins to lighten, not because the past disappears, but because you are no longer holding on so tightly. Silence teaches us to loosen our grip, to rest in the flow of life as it is. In times of loss, meditation becomes a medicine for the soul. The silence does not erase the pain, but it holds it with compassion, like a gentle embrace. Within that embrace, healing unfolds naturally. You discover that grief is not something to fight, but something to walk with. And in walking with it, step by step, breath by breath, you find moments of grace, moments where love is felt more deeply than ever before. After 50, we often begin to see life from a wider perspective. We know that everything passes: youth, careers, possessions, even the people we cherish most. But what does not pass is the love we carry within, and silence is the bridge that leads us back to that love. Through meditation, we reconnect with the timeless part of ourselves, the soul that is untouched by loss, unchanged by the years. So, I invite you to experiment. Try sitting quietly for just a few minutes each day. Breathe deeply, close your eyes, and allow the silence to hold you. Do not expect fireworks or instant peace. Simply allow yourself to be. Over time, you may notice that silence begins to heal you from the inside out, offering clarity, strength, and compassion in ways words never could. The truth is, silence is not an absence. It is a gift. It is the space where the heart remembers who it really is. It is the doorway through which healing enters, and in that healing, even grief can become a teacher, guiding us gently back to the soul. Now let me ask you, have you ever tried meditation as a companion in grief, as a way to find light within the darkness? Finding spiritual meaning in the experience. When we go through loss, something deep within us begins to stir. Grief, though heavy and often unbearable, has a way of opening doors we never thought existed. It pushes us beyond the surface of life and into questions of meaning, purpose, and the mystery of existence itself. To grieve is to feel the tearing apart of the heart. It is raw, it is human, and it is deeply sacred. And yet, if we allow it, grief can also be more than sorrow. It can become a pathway to spiritual awakening. Ram Dass, the great teacher of the heart, often reminded us that everything in this life is impermanent. Nothing stays. Everything rises, lives for a moment, and then fades. This truth can feel cruel when we are faced with the loss of someone we love, but it is also the very fabric of life. To see impermanence clearly is not to despair, but to wake up to the depth of love we are capable of. For if nothing lasts forever, then each moment we share, each breath we take, is infinitely precious. Grief teaches us to stop clinging to the illusion of permanence. It strips away what is false and leaves us face to face with what is real. Beneath the pain of loss, there is a doorway into silence, into stillness, into the awareness that life is far greater than what the eyes can see. When someone we love passes away, the body is gone, but the essence, the spirit, remains. Ram Dass often said that death is like taking off a tight shoe. The soul is released, and what remains is love. Love does not die. It shifts form, it flows differently, but it continues. In this way, grief can expand our consciousness. At first, it narrows our vision. The world feels small, colorless, empty. But as time moves, and as we learn to sit with our sorrow, something begins to unfold. we realize that our pain is also a reflection of our capacity to love deeply. And that love connects us not only to the one we lost, but to the vastness of all existence. The cycle of life and death, birth and departure, is not an accident. It is part of the rhythm of the universe. Flowers bloom, then wither. The sun rises, then sets. Waves crash, then recede. Every ending is also a beginning. And within this eternal cycle lies a profound invitation to see that we are not separate from it but part of it. To grieve, then, is to walk through a portal. On one side, there is pain, longing, and the ache of absence. On the other, there is a deeper awareness of life's mystery and beauty. The portal is not easy to cross. It demands courage. It asks us to feel fully, to surrender our resistance, to allow our tears to flow. But if we do, we may discover a meaning far beyond our sorrow. Grief whispers to us, "You are more than this body. You are more than your roles, your possessions, even your identity. You are spirit. You are awareness, and so was the one you lost." Death does not erase them. It transforms the relationship, carrying it into the invisible realms of the heart. When we lean into grief with openness, it can become a teacher. It can show us the fragility of life, yes, but also the boundless strength of love. It can strip us of illusions and awaken us to compassion for ourselves, for others who suffer, for all beings who walk this path of loss and love. Ram Dass once said, "We're all just walking each other home." Perhaps this is the deepest meaning of grief. In losing, we are reminded that this journey is not about possessions or achievements. It is about love. It is about presence. It is about walking each other home with kindness, patience, and grace. So when grief comes, may we not only mourn, but also listen. Listen to what it reveals about the impermanence of life, about the eternal nature of love, and about the mystery of existence itself. For grief, as painful as it is, holds within it the seeds of awakening. And maybe, just maybe, in the silence of our tears we can hear the whisper of the soul reminding us, nothing is ever truly lost. All is transformed. And through grief, we are brought closer to the heart of spirit itself. Now I ask you, do you believe that grief can bring us closer to spirituality? There are few burdens in life heavier than the weight of unspoken words, unresolved resentments, and the lingering shadows of what was left unsaid when someone we love has departed. Grief often brings not only sadness for the absence of the person, but also a deep ache for the things we never healed, the apologies we never offered, or the love we never fully expressed. These invisible chains can bind the heart for years, quietly shaping our days with regret and unspoken pain. But there is a sacred truth hidden within this silence. Forgiveness and compassion hold the power to unlock those chains. Forgiveness is not about condoning what happened, nor is it about forgetting the pain. It is about releasing ourselves from the prison of resentment, guilt, or self-blame. It's about opening a space in the heart where love can flow again, where the memory of the one who has passed is not tied to bitterness, but instead embraced in tenderness. When we forgive, we are not only offering peace to the other, we are reclaiming peace for ourselves. Forgiveness is a gift that moves in both directions. It reaches beyond time, beyond the physical presence of the one who has gone, and it softens the sharp edges of grief. Many spiritual teachers remind us that love never dies. The body may fall away, but the connection of the soul remains. In that space, forgiveness becomes a bridge, reconnecting us to the essential love that was always there beneath the layers of pain. Compassion is the companion of forgiveness. To forgive another, we must first learn to be compassionate with ourselves. Grief can stir feelings of guilt, anger, and even shame. We may ask ourselves, did I do enough? Did I say enough? Did I love them enough? These questions weigh heavily, and yet they are part of the human journey. Self-compassion means recognizing our own humanity, understanding that we did the best we could with the knowledge, strength, and awareness we had at the time. It means placing a gentle hand on the heart and saying, I forgive myself for being imperfect. I forgive myself for being human. From this place of self-kindness, we begin to extend compassion outward. We remember that those who have departed also carried their own struggles, fears, and limitations. They, too, were learning how to love, how to forgive, how to navigate life's mysteries. Through compassion, we see them not as flawless figures from the past, but as fellow travelers on the path of life, doing the best they could with what they had. One simple practice can be profoundly healing. Imagine sitting quietly, breathing deeply, and bringing to mind the person who has passed. Picture them surrounded by light. Then silently speak to them from your heart. You might say, I forgive you. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. These words, simple yet powerful, are like keys that unlock doors within the soul. Even if the person is no longer physically here, the energy of forgiveness and compassion can still flow, bringing peace to your own heart, and perhaps even to theirs, wherever they may be. Another gentle exercise is to write a letter. In this letter, allow yourself to express everything you never said, the gratitude, the love, the apologies, the forgiveness. Do not hold back. Pour your heart onto the page. When you are finished, you may choose to keep the letter, to burn it as a symbolic release, or to place it in a sacred space. The act of giving voice to what was left unsaid can free you from the burden of carrying it silently. The truth is that compassion and forgiveness are not one-time events, they are practices. Each day, we can choose to soften, to release, to let love take the place of resentment. With every step, the heart grows lighter, the memory of the departed becomes more luminous, and we ourselves become freer to live fully in the present. So I invite you now to reflect. If you could send a message to the person who has departed, what would it be? Would it be a message of love, of gratitude, or of forgiveness? Whatever your heart whispers in this moment is the doorway to healing. Remember, forgiveness does not change the past, but it transforms how the past lives within you. Compassion does not erase the pain, but it changes the way you carry it. Together, forgiveness and compassion are the wings that allow the heart to rise above grief, to reconnect with the love that never truly dies, and to walk forward with peace, keeping connections alive with the departed. There is a quiet mystery in the way love continues even after someone we cherish has left this world. When the body is gone, when the voice is silent, and the daily presence is no longer felt, many believe the connection fades away. Yet, if we look deeper, we discover that love does not die with the body. It remains alive within us, woven into our hearts and our memories. Keeping connections alive with those who have departed is not about clinging to the past, nor about denying the reality of loss. Instead, it is about honoring the bond that never truly ends. Across cultures and generations, people have created rituals, ceremonies, and personal practices to keep this love flowing. A candle lit in silence, a prayer whispered before sleep, a walk to a place once shared. These small gestures are bridges, reminders that the relationship still breathes within the soul. Rituals have a quiet power. They create space for remembrance, allowing us to pause and reconnect. It may be a tradition passed down in your family, or it may be something deeply personal, something only you and the person who has gone would understand. A favorite song played on their birthday, a photograph touched gently before leaving the house, or even preparing a meal they loved. These are not empty acts, they are conversations of the heart. They tell us that memory can be alive, that presence can be felt in silence. But as we explore these connections, it is important to recognize the difference between attachment and pure love. Attachment clings to what can no longer be, to the physical presence, to the way things once were. It can create suffering because it resists the natural flow of life and death. Pure love, however, is different. Pure love is spacious. It is not chained to the past, but it recognizes the eternal essence of the person we love. It does not demand their return in body, but it celebrates their presence in spirit. When we practice love without attachment, we free ourselves from the weight of longing. We begin to experience our loved one not as absent, but as transformed. Their energy is not lost, it simply changes form. It flows in the lessons they left us, in the kindness they inspired, in the subtle ways they shaped the person we are today. Every smile they brought into our life, every word that touched our soul, continues to echo. In this way, they live on not outside of us, but within us. Imagine your heart as a sacred space where the energy of those you love still resides. You can close your eyes and feel them there, not as a memory fading with time, but as a living presence. Quiet, tender, eternal. When you laugh, when you forgive, when you choose compassion, you are giving life to their energy once more. Their story continues through your choices, through the way you love the world. This perspective transforms grief. It doesn't erase the pain, for grief is the natural expression of love in the face of loss, but it reshapes it into something meaningful. Instead of asking, "How can I let go?" we begin to ask, "How can I carry this love forward?" The bond is not broken, it is reborn in new forms. So perhaps the real question is not whether we can keep the connection alive, but how we choose to do it. Through a ritual of remembrance, through the simple act of speaking their name, or through living in a way that reflects the love they gave us. There is no right or wrong way, only sincerity matters. And so I invite you to reflect. Do you have a ritual, a memory, or a practice that keeps alive the presence of someone you have lost? Maybe it is something you do in solitude, or maybe it is something you share with family or friends. Whatever it may be, know that in keeping their memory alive, you are also nurturing the love within you. For in truth, we never walk away from love. It remains our companion, quietly guiding us, gently reminding us that even in absence, presence can still be felt. And in the deepest sense, we are never truly apart.